So in your earlier semester, you might have gained a good grip on VLSI design flow, like from starting idea to final realization of an integrated circuit or a chip. Because we are having a many number of stages in realizing a chip, that is starting from the idea. What is the idea? That is what I want to design or what chip I have to develop, like whether I have to develop a processor or otherwise I want to develop a memory chip or a RAM, ROM or a kind of ADC or DAC. Finally, all these things, whenever you are going to like open your any of the electronic gadget like a mobile phone, you can able to find a many number of integrated circuits inside it equipped on a system on chip, equipped on a big chip, and inside it you are going to find a many number of integrated circuits. Again, these integrated circuits are called as a chips, IC chips. So how each and every IC chip are being developed or designed, that we need to understand. How like this is the process that will be involved in designing or realizing an integrated circuit chip. First thing is design specification, functional design, RTL design, verification of RTL, synthesis, RTL verification, technology mapping, placing routing, fabrication, testing, and packaging. So the one whatever I am showing you here, it is a digital system design flow, or sometimes we can call it an IC design flow or application specific integrated circuit design flow. We call this chart as flow chart as. Okay, so let us like recap some of the concepts. What are the concepts here? We'll see. So we know that digital circuits having a large and long history. These digital circuits are developed and they are playing a major role in develop any digital systems. Am I right? So why we are going for the digital circuits? As we are having a many number of drawbacks or disadvantages in the analog systems, we are going to prefer at the digital systems. So like in our analog systems, the main drawbacks we found here are accuracy, maintenance, low speed, throughput, and performances. So these all the factors will be overcome by our digital systems. Okay. So the digital system accommodates a digital circuits which operate mainly on the digital signals. These digital circuits are made up of a transistors and a logic gates. Why? Because in your earlier digital electronic circuits or a VLSI circuits, all your schematics are being developed by using transistor logics only. Transistors are helpful in developing the schematics, and even the logic gates are a combination of different gates. We can able to develop a module or a system. So again, all these things comes under the digital circuits only, the logic gates or a transistors. For example, if I want to design a microprocessor or a microcontroller, I cannot simply pick and place a many number of or a large number of transistors. I require here a many number of different modules. For example, if I am going to develop a processor is required an arithmetic logic unit, a control unit, a memory unit. All these things comes into picture. Okay, so all these modules are developed. I can say that whenever a combination of different alignments of transistors or a logic gates takes place in order to realize a different modules. Because if you consider a RAM chip or a ROM chip, a arithmetic logical unit, inside it I am having a full adder, subtractor, multiplier, circuit, all these blocks. Again, each and every blocks are made up of transistors or many number of logic gates. So if I want to develop a processors, because these processors are a beefy processors in your computer, they are not tiny. Okay, so I require here a digital system. I consider this as a part of a digital system. What a microcontroller or a microprocessor are again treated as a digital systems here. So we do have a plenty and wide areas in application part. So these are used in signal processing, in social video processing and computers and space applications. And so plenty number of applications we can able to find out the digital systems. And in our day-to-day life, in our electronic gadgets, mobile phones, in traffic light systems, wherever you go, you can find a digital system. So what is this digital system? I am saying that we can find it in everywhere. So digital system is nothing but it is simply an integrated circuit. So this integrated circuit is found everywhere in your day-to-day life. So this picture is depicting you the analog clock, and this is my digital clock. This is some kind of voltmeter, analog multimeter, and this is digital while. This is a joystick, analog one, and this is a joystick of digital one. So just this is a first class. Just for recapping the concepts, I am presenting all these things. Any questions you are having from your side, you can raise the hand. Hello? Yes, students. Please release your voice.
No, sir, no question.
Okay. So I would like to ask you a few questions. So you might have learned in the VLSI subject. What is this integrated circuit definition? Anyone?
Sir, electronic components are fabricated on a single chip, sir. In IC.
Okay, good. So how this? Why we are always preferring silicon instead of germanium for realizing any integrated circuit chip? Yes.
Because of abundance, sir.
Abundancy. Okay, it might be a reason, but why we are preferring mainly silicon instead of germanium? Is there any other reason?
Free electrons, sir.
Okay, free electrons. And the most important reason is it can able to sustain a highest temperatures. Silicon can tolerate up to 150 degrees Celsius when compared to germanium, which can able to sustain up to 80 degrees Celsius only. So this is one of the reason why we are using silicon instead of its abundancy in nature. Okay, so mainly we require the doping because a pure silicon doesn't conduct the electricity. That is why we always do the doping process. And these integrated circuits are categorized on fabrication basis as well as the level of integration and application, as you might have learned in your previous semester. Okay, so keeping these things apart, we have the first electronic circuit, that is first generation computers, got built by using the vacuum tubes and valves, because these are acted as a primary electronic components. So at that time, in those days only, many number of people had found them as a bulky, expensive, and they used it to consume a lot amount of power. So like how to overcome these kind of disadvantages or the drawbacks that are present in the first generation computers. Later, what happened after the invention of the transistor in 1948 in the Bell Laboratories by the physicists, we have Barton, Cretin, and Choklet. It has revolutionized the way that the computers were built, because previously computers were very bulky. After that, their size got tremendously and exponentially got shrunk or decreased after the invention of the transistors. So the transistors, which having a property of a switch or as an electrical switch, are used to build a digital circuits as well as a digital integrated circuits and digital systems. As a digital circuit is being developed, means parallelly I can develop a digital systems with the help of the transistors. And with the help of the transistor, I can say that the IC technology had gained tremendous popularity, as well as its utility got increased. My question is, whenever I would like to, for example, in the market, I am having a Samsung S10 Plus mobile phone. So if I want to design this mobile phone, only a single unit if I want to design means it cost me around 5 lakhs. For example, if I have ordered or if I have told the foundry to design or to develop a plenty or say let us say a 50 or 100 units of Samsung S10 Plus mobile phone, then the production cost or the purchase manufacturing cost for the each unit gradually decreases. Because if I have told the foundry to design S10 plus of 1 unit means they will be charging me around 5 lakhs. If I have ordered a 50 units of Samsung S10 plus means they will be giving me a charge of for each unit charge they will be giving me around 60 to 70,000. Why I am saying here these things is ICs are inexpensive when they are produced in large number or large quantities. But whenever they are produced in a small or a single quantity, their cost tremendously increases. That is the difference you need to observe here. And you also know that according to the Moore's law, the size of the transistor is shrinking. And because of the shrinkage of the size, we are able to place a many number of transistors in a single integrated circuit in the same area. Okay, that means previously, for example, I am having a 25 square centimeter of area where I can place a 5 to 6 transistors in starting. Now, in the same 25 square centimeter of area, I can able to place a 1 lakh to 2 lakh transistors. So why and how this is happened means the Moore's law comes into a active role here. So can anyone explain me what is this Moore's law?
So Morse predicted that the number of transistors on a chip doubled every 18 to 24 months.
Yeah. Any more? Move to the next slide. So these are the integrated circuits as being provided to me the definition. These integrated circuit chip are mostly appeared as in the form of a dual inline package, that is DIP package. And these are categorized into a application specific integrated circuit and general purpose integrated circuits. So this history of integration, I think I no need to tell you because you might have learned in the VLSI subject. So this is small scale integration where I can able to place a 10 to 100 number of logical gates on the single chip. So with the help of medium scale integration, I placed up to 1000 gates, and large scale integration 10,000 gates, and the very large scale integration greater than 1 lakh. And now we are in the stage of ULSI, that is ultra large scale integration. So this ultra large scale integration started in the year 2010. So after 1990s, VLSI technology came into existence. Okay. So with the help of these integrated circuits, I can able to develop a plenty number of electronic projects, which you can able to see here in the presentation. That means not only DSP processors, controllers, memory units also I can develop like gadgets useful for communication, and some kind of DSP kits also I can develop, and system on chip. This system on chip is nothing but a system is present on a single chip. Chip here is nothing but an integrated circuit. So this chip may be a motherboard that is found in your CPU box. It may be a motherboard of your mobile phone. So this and even embedded systems also we can able to find the integrated circuits. So these are the different products by which I can develop my digital systems. So A digital system is nothing but which takes or processes the digital inputs and give and produces a digital outputs. So this is a digital system. Then what is a digital design means? It is a designing or describing of your electronic circuit or a hardware circuit by means of some programming language. That is a hardware description language that conveys what is present inside your hardware. Like for example, if you are having a processor, you are going to design a digital design of processor. So this hardware description language will describe you or will convey you what is its internal modules of a processor, like it is having any arithmetic logical unit or a memory unit or a controller unit, timer unit, or different blocks, serial communication ports, input output ports, all these things. Your hardware description language will be conveying you all the information, like what is its architecture and what is the functionality. Like for example, full adder we take. What is the functionality of a full adder? Yes, anyone? What is the functionality of a full adder? Hello? Hello?
It adds 3 bits, sir.
Yeah, it adds bits, right? Okay, it's okay. So gate count, like how many number of gates are present in your architecture? Like 1,000 number of logical gates or 10,000 or 1 lakh number of logical gates. All these will be going to be conveyed by your hardware description language by using EDA tools, that is electronic design automation tools. Okay, so this is about digital design. So history of technology, because you know better than me what is the history of the technology, why we are preferring CMOS rather than PMOS or NMOS, okay, and why we are going for silicon rather than aluminum. All things you might have learned in the subject of VLSI. So I just skipping this slide. So this is my design abstraction, because if I want to develop a system that is called a mobile phone, okay, a mobile phone, inside my mobile phone, what do I have? I am having a plenty number of integrated circuit, which may be a processor, memory, RAM, counter, clock circuit, or some kind of a controlling circuit also, and camera IC, speaker, microphone. All these things are again realized or again appeared in the form of an integrated circuit. So whenever these things are associated, we call them as a system. So inside a system, let us take I am having a processor module. Okay, inside my processor module, I am having some kind of an ALU unit, arithmetic logical unit. So arithmetic as well as logical unit. Inside this module also, I am having many number of sub-modules. Let us go with a full adder circuit or a multiplexer or whatever it is, because the arithmetic logical unit will realizing arithmetic realizations as well as the logical realizations. Coming to the arithmetic realizations, I may have adders, subtractors, multipliers, divisions. All these things comes into picture. So this coming to full adder. Can I say my full adder is developed by a number of logical gates? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Right. So can I say my logical gate is developed by realizing a schematic? A many number of transistors. A schematic is nothing but a many number of transistors. So a many number of transistors is giving me a logical gate. That means inside a gate I can able to see a circuit or a schematic in this manner, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Again, inside this schematic, the main component of a schematic is again a transistor part, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, that means from the transistor, I have developed a schematic. From the schematic, I have developed a logical gate. From the logical gate, a combination of many number of logical gates, I have developed a module or a submodules. And a many number of submodules or an association of many number of different modules, I can able to develop a system. This is my digital system, which may be a processor unit, controller unit, or timer unit, or whatever it is, a memory unit also. It is called also considered as a system. Like in your ATM card also, I am having an integrated circuit. That is application specific integrated circuit. That is. So this all the things comes into picture. This is a design abstraction level. Okay. Now, so what is this? Now what is this digital systems? The digital systems are classified broadly into 3 categories. One is microprocessors and DSPs. These comes under one category, and ASIC, like I have mentioned you, this application specific integrated circuit. And the next one is standard logic. So coming to microprocessors and DSPs, you can able to find in your computers, laptops, electronic mobile phones, gadgets, and different things. You can able to find out this processors and DSP processors. DSP processors are mainly used for space applications. And coming to your ASIC, we have here general purpose ASIC and application specific integrated circuit. So I explained you this about ASIC part. And coming to the standard logic, I said you that a digital system is finally realized in terms of a transistor. That means by seeing this picture, that this digital system is realized by using the transistor, which may be of TTL logic, CMOS logic, and ECL logic also. That means these three are the standard logics. So I can say TTL is also cooperating to give me a digital system. CMOS also helps me to develop or realize a digital system, as well as ECL also will incorporate to realize a digital system. Okay, so this part is over and this part is over. Then what is this ASIC? This ASIC. Now this ASIC is having general purpose ASIC, we call it as an, and this is one more is specific ASIC, that is application oriented. This is general purpose oriented. General purpose oriented means it is field programmable devices. We call it as a field programmable. Field here is we ourselves. That means in our in our area we can able to program the device. Field program. That means the programming is done by the user. But coming to here ASIC, that is application specific integrated circuit. Once it is programmed or once the chip is realized, we cannot, that means the chip is only dedicated for that task only, application specific for that application only, that chip will work. It won't serve any other applications. Like the chip we found in your microwave oven, or in your ATM card chip, or in your walkie-talkies, or in your doorbells, or in your washing machines. These all the chips are doing a specific application. That is why it is a ASIC chip. So coming to the field programmable devices, we call these field programmable devices are the nothing but programmable logical devices, where a user can do the program. So these PLDs are categorized into SPLD, CPLD, and FPGA. So SPLD is nothing but here it is an integrated circuit chip where I can able to find 100 number of gates on it. Coming to complex programmable logical devices, that is CPLD, I can able to find 10,000 logical gates on this integrated circuit. Because I am saying that a gate may have a plenty number of transistor. Again here, I am not saying a gate is having a 2 transistor, 4 transistor, or 5 transistor. A gate may have an enormous number of transistors. Be clear with this point. Okay. And here FPGA, and FPGA is having like 1 million kind of logical gates present on its integrated circuit chip. So these field programmable devices are nothing but these are integrated circuit chips, or sometimes I'm going to call this FPDs, are kits. So these FPGA kits, CPLD kits or SPLD kits, it is the, I mean, for these things, we are the one going to program on these kits, do or dump the code on these kits in order to check our logic. So these are the FPLD kits. So these SPLD is again categorized into PLA, PAL, GAL, PROM, and EPLD, E square PLD. These are all you might have learned in VLSI subject, hope. So, am I right?
Most of them, sir.
Okay, very good. Very good. SPL, these all are the architectures. It's internal architectures. If you want, architecture part will be taken care by the Dheeraj sir. If you want, sir will again just revise all the concepts if you need. These are the different programming techniques: SPLD, CPLD, and FPGA. SPLDs are programmed by Fuse, EEPROM, and E square PROM. And these are the different programming techniques of your CPLDs, and these are the FPGAs. Okay, so and coming to ASIC also, this concept of ASIC you also might learn in the syllabus of your VLSI. So ASICs are broadly categorized as full custom ASIC, standard cell, and gate array. Gate array we call it as a semi-custom ASIC. So before discussing about the design flow, how these digital circuits came into existence, like starting from your bulky vacuum tubes as your electronic computers. Right now I am having a mobile phone as a mini computer in my hand. So how this evolution of digital circuits have taken place? So digital circuits which are evolved further rapidly in the last 25 years. We know that vacuum tubes, transistors are used for developing a digital circuits, right? So if I am having 100 number of logical gates, I'm calling it as in small scale integration mode. If the technology day by day got sophisticated, so what happened? Designers who are placed 100 gates, instead of 100 gates, they placed 1000 gates. So we call that as a medium scale integration technology. And as soon as the advent of large scale integration taken place, where the designers had able to place a 10,000 number of logical gates. Okay, 10,000 number of logical gates. But all these gates they are able to place still on the breadboard only, which is involved with a heavy manual labor. Okay, many number of hard work had taken place. So of course, as the number of logical gates, placing a large number of logical gates increased, it means many number of functionalities your digital system realizing had increased. Like previously, if your digital system is there, that previously is used to do phone calls. The same digital system is now acting as a camera unit, acting to receive your phone calls, acting to see a Google Maps, and use it to watch the videos, play a song with the same digital system. So all these things happened means I have increased my gate count. If I increased my gate count means my functionality and the number of modules are also increased here. So I can say that the design process became complicated, and the designers had felt very risky in placing a large number of logical gates. So they thought of having an automation or automatic process have to be developed, where EDA came into picture. This EDA is nothing but it is electronic design automation. I didn't have any slide on this EDA. Okay, so electronic design automation, where now the designers begin to use circuit. Okay, you people know that whenever you are placing a logical gates on your breadboard, I'm not talking about transistors. So you need to understand, whenever I'm using a logical gates on breadboard means, of course you are placing a transistors only. So if you are placing two logical gates, or a module of a full adder that is having two XOR gate with one AND gate, right? That means I can able to develop the circuit. I can able to develop a full adder circuit. If I want to test means I will be connecting the breadboard, the input terminals of your circuit to some external power supply, or so that I can able to check whether the logic of my full adder is working properly or not. So if that is for full adder. For example, if I am going to develop an 8-bit multiplier means the complexity of the circuit increases. So 8-bit multiplier means 8-bit multiplier. That means A is 8 bits and B is 8 bit. That means 16 number of inputs I need to give to my functional block in order to check my output. So like it is a bit cumbersome process. Okay, so with the help of this electronic design automation, designers begin to use design circuit, and they have also used the simulators also, because verifying or checking the functionality of any logical circuit is nothing but simulating. We call it as a simulator, simulating the circuit. So EDA is helped in automatically realizing the design or designing a functional block, and how to check the design block. The EDA had helped a lot. So with the advent of the VLSI, now the designers had able to place a 10,000 number of logical gates. So the CAD tools now become critical for verification. So computer aided design will be coming into picture. So all this computer aided design is nothing but I just end of this point. Are you people there?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. See students, just simply I will explain you. You have done breadboard experiments on your laboratory, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes.
Okay. What experiments you have done?
Full adder, half adder, multiplexer,
Hmm.
Compare it.
7-segment display.
Okay, good. So you placed it on the breadboard only, right? All the electronic components.
Yes, sir.
Whenever you are doing all these things, you might have felt some uneasiness, right? Like placing the components, picking the components, arranging it properly, and
Yes, sir.
connecting to it.
Exactly, sir.
Yes. So as the number of transistors, or as a number of for simply a full adder and half adder, or like NAND gate, NOR gate, multiplexer, for these things only you might felt very uneasy. Then to realize a processor which is having a many number of logical gates, and each and every logical gate may have many number of transistors, all these connections have to be keep properly to achieve the required functionality or the task of a processor. Then definitely the designers in those days had felt a lot of problems, right? Many number of manual labor had involved. To overcome all these things, CAD tool came into existence. That is computer aided design. So in your multisim, you know multisim, right?
Yes, sir.
So keeping an electronic component on the breadboard and simulating it, or connecting all the electronic components and simulating on the graphical terminal, that is computer, which one you felt easier?
Placing the components on, in the stimulated lab is easy.
Multisim, you place it easier. I mean, you felt it easier. So this multisim is actually a low-end CAD tool, that is computer-aided design. It is a low-end tool. But in the field of VLSI, we have a many number of CAD tools, that is computer-aided design. Computer is going to help to develop our design, that is CAD tools. We can able to realize a many number of logical modules for developing our required systems. So this is how a CAD tool helps us. Now, again, my thing is In the graphical terminal or a CAD tool also, like picking the component like transistors, like comparators and connecting it properly, all these things will come into picture. So, like some or the other way, we cannot pick and place all the components because it is also a time consuming process. So then how to realize this hardware? For example, let me take a full adder circuit which is having two XOR gates and one AND gate. One AND gate and one OR gate, I think. So instead of picking and placing all these logical gates, I just write a simple programming code. That programming code will be taking care of entire digital circuit hardware design. Once, like that means I am writing a hardware description for my digital circuit of my full adder. This language or this program will be conveying me what is the functionality that my program is going to present me. So that is a hardware description language. Okay. So for all these things, I will explain once again for you clearly in the IC design flow, that is integrated circuit design flow. So all the steps we'll discuss in the next class. So as of now, I have given you I just recapped the concepts of your VLSI. Okay. In the next class, I am going to deal about the design flow, IC design flow, and what are the stages, and in each stage, each and every stage, what happens and what is the assistancy being given by your EDA tool or CAD tools. All these things we will discuss.